All right, is my mic hot? Awesome. All right, let's go. So, hello everybody. Welcome here to the NACL stream, where we'll be bringing you some action from the collegiate Overwatch scene. My name is Kenny Beanie Small. I'm the manager of Rutgers Overwatch, and I'm going to be talking to your lovely ears today as we bring you the second round of Rutgers Esports Fireside Open Overwatch Tournament. It's an annual tournament that Rutgers Esports holds every year in the winter, usually in the December month, around then, give or take. And we like to have all kinds of competitive games come out, all different kinds of tournaments. And so we have Overwatch here, but we also have a bunch of other options available between Dota, between CSGO, between League of Legends. So whatever your cup of tea is, check out Rutgers Esports and give them a little follow on Twitter while you're at it. Thank you for coming to support some college Overwatch. We'll be getting started here very shortly. But in the meantime, we will be getting into this best of three series between Rutgers University's Scarlet Knights D1 team taking on NJIT's B team. Now, NJIT's B team is not a team that should be taken too lightly. These guys, while they are not the A team, they still have a formidable roster, averaging at about 3,700, give or take, between their lineups. Maybe a little more, a little less, depending on how that comp queue goes. But everyone has those ups and downs. You know, you can't always expect to stay steady with comps. Sometimes it just really tests you. So we'll be getting in the game here very shortly. Just waiting on the okay from the NJIT side, and we'll be getting started. But what I expect to see here is starting out on Oasis. It's going to be a map that's very favorable to people who like to play Pharah. She has a very high skybox that she can play with. You know, a lot of maneuverability with that 3D movement, not stuck on just going left to right, front and back. She can also change herself by shooting into the air in all sorts of directions, and it really depends on how well she creates that space for how effective she's going to be in the matchup. If she's able to get herself into an optimal spot, you know, peeking around corners, or playing out of sight of the McCrees and the Widowmakers that are hunting her down, she can have a field day. And if she's playing against teams that typically run meta, which is going to be something along the lines of Orisa Sigma, Reaper, and Doomfist, it's going to be very difficult to take out a Pharah with that lineup, assuming the Pharah is playing to the top of her level. And so we have the R from NJIT, the R from Rutgers, and the R from our stream. So we'll be going into this game one of the best of three between these two teams. Starting out here on Oasis, the format is map one, designated as Oasis. Map two, loser gets to decide on a hybrid map between Kings Row, Hollywood, and Numbani. And then if we end up needing a map three, we'll be taking it over to the escort maps of Dorado, Route 66, and Junkertown. And so these guys going to be getting a nice, fair movement around the maps, you know, not having to play that dreaded 2CP map, which I know a lot of people aren't too big of fans of, but with Push coming out in the future, thanks to the BlizzCon info, we might be seeing the death of assault maps. Praise be to Jeff Kaplan. In the meantime, though, gonna be getting set up here onto Oasis. I believe this is University. Yes, this is University. And so we will be, I want to say, a typical meta composition, you know, seeing Orisa Sigma, maybe a May Doomfist coming out, or excuse me, a May Reaper coming out here, which I think we will be seeing actually Rutgers University pulling out. Rutgers University is the team on the left in blue. Meanwhile, on the red side, we do have NJIT taking the mantles there. Going to be getting themselves set up, ready to go as we are loading into map number one here on University. The speed boost comes out from the Lucios, and we have what looks to be matching compositions between these two teams. Very what you would expect right now, and the rotations come out from NJIT going around trying to flip the point on Rutgers University and catch them by surprise. But in the meantime, Rutgers is able to hold them off for the moment as Insane picks up the first kill, followed up by King and Wiz rolling through them with their DPS, and that's going to be Rutgers University solidifying a nice first fight win on the first point of University. And that was you know, a nice strategy by NJIT. They tried to flip the point on Rutgers and catch them by surprise. They went around that left side of the map and then forced Rutgers to reposition themselves, turn around, reset up their shield, and Ultra, the main tank, did a great job at stabilizing first team, and Parsville also backing up his his main tank on the Sigma. But in the meantime, NJIT looking to change their course of attack now, going down the middle of the lane with a mirror composition to the Rutgers University lineup. NJIT is going to have to just straight up play better than their opponent. It all comes down to that individual skill, but it's going to be very difficult when the whole team gets knocked down to the lower levels. A very nice boop coming in by the Lucio from Insane, and after that, it's going to be an easy fight win for Rutgers University. And so, you know, looking at these ultimates, Rutgers has 2 in their bank, going to be building up a 3rd on Wiz's Reaper. It's going to be an interesting look at how Wiz can make that work. Having the Death Blossom on his Reaper is a very crucial ultimate if used correctly. Having that AoE damage coming out, it's a very nice tool to, if not kill your opponents, it drops them very low, and at the very least, it draws attention, which is going to be the most important part of all this. Just drawing away the LOS of your opponents, making sure that they don't have the ability to keep sight on the priority targets. Speaking of which, though, Wiz sneaking around here, coming out the backside, looking to pop that ultimate, but he does not have the ability to do that just yet, as he is being focused down pretty well, but the Gravitic Flux will be used by Parzival, and that's going to be the rest of NJIT falling one after another. After we can see the rest of Rutgers University just snowballing through them. So, with only 86% left, Rutgers University is going to hold up very close, but NJIT, they do have that Coalescence on Moira, who does come to meet his maker, unfortunately, will fall, and now May, the only one with an ultimate, will she be able to even touch the point? She chucks it out, trying to just get any kind of utility out of it, but unfortunately, that's 0 fight win, round win to Rutgers University. Very nicely done. And that was a dominating performance from start to finish by Rutgers. They just took control of the point, and when you have control of the point and you get that first fight win and you have your ultimates rolling, it can be very difficult to come back from something like that. So NJIT getting a chance to reset right now. You know, they have some players on their lineup that are very strong, very potent players. You have to watch out for Shun on that main tank. He's their captain. He's their leader. He is the one who sets the tone for them. And if you're playing on that main tank role, you need to be a rock for your team. Another member of the lineup that is actually quite a high-ranked player, I believe, is going to be Wonder, the player from NJITB, going to be looking to, he's actually not in this as he was unfortunately unable to make it, but having the play around, not having their star player, something NJITB team is going to have to work with. Both teams just staggering back and forth here on the point, looking to get themselves into a little bit of a back and forth kind of stalemate. Who's going to fall first? And unfortunately for Rutgers, that's going to be King. Very nicely done by Things to Go Boom, striking first there. And with the Far Mercy combo, we talked about the potency of this pick right now in the meta. There's nobody able to deal with her directly, so she's just building up that ultimate charge. Look at Things Go Boom, 91% to that ultimate, and they are looking promising to pop off in this fight, taking out the Crozes, and the ultimate does come out. The barrage only picks up 1 though. King finishing him off, and while Rutgers may have looked like they were able to stabilize, NJIT is still in a prime position to take this until Insane and Parzival picking up the slack right now, putting in work, and King as well. All of them turning the fight, which looked so dominant by NJIT's B team early on. And Things Go Boom. He was having a field day during that fight. He got his ultimate very quickly on that Pharah. There was no focus fire being thrown down onto him, so he had free reign in the sky. But unfortunately, when he drops that barrage, when you are stuck in the same position for so long, he's just an easy target to focus down. So going forward, Stormson does have an ultimate, but on the side of Rutgers University, they are getting closer and closer to these key ultimates, the first of which will be Parzival's Gravitic Flux. Gonna have to see if he can use that to win this team the fight right here. And actually, the pull does come in by Ultra, and the Gravitic Flux thrown down, followed up by Stay Confused, getting dropped. Nice work there by King, but Stoll actually picking up a kill onto his Reaper counterpart. Very nicely done, but that might be the only kill that NJITB will pick up, unfortunately, as they're looking to stabilize, but they do end up doing just that. 2 kills coming in. Now NJIT, they have the momentum, they have the control, but do they have the prowess to take this point? Unfortunately, King picking up a kill right there, taking down Stormson. Parzival following up as well. 59% of the point taken here for Rutgers, but NJIT B team is looking poised to strike with 3 ultimates coming up for this next fight. On the other hand, though, Rutgers University's team, they have 5 ultimates available in the bank right now. Wiz coming up on that Death Blossom. King looks poised to make a play as he's going to be one who needs to cause some chaos in that backline. You know, with Doomfist having so much mobility, having so much kill pressure, it's going to depend a lot on how well he can get into that backline, cause a little chaos, and Wiz actually solo ulting the Pharah, a useful choice, totally taking him out of the fight, and then King goes in. Multiple ultimates from Rutgers are just being used for the hell of it at this point, and they will finish off these kills, secure themselves a round 2 win on Oasis, and just like that, Rutgers University is going to take themselves a 1-0 series lead here at round 2 of the Fireside Open for Rutgers Esports.
Score 2-0.
And so now, with a 2-0 win, unfortunately, settings were a little off there by the lobby leader, but that is a 2-0 win by Rutgers University. And so now going into map number 2, NJIT's B team is going to have the ability to choose a hybrid. It's going to depend which they want. They have Kings Row, Hollywood, and Numbani all at their disposals. Personally, I want to see Kings Row. That's always been a map that I've been a big fan of. I really like the tight fighting corridors that they have. It's a very close-knit kind of situation where you get to see some new interesting picks. You know, you get to see the Reinhardts come out. Maybe not yet. Maybe that might be a little too soon, but if you know what's happening on the PTR, Reinhardt's going to be a lot more popular soon. This is the map, Kings Row, where you get Reinhardt's coming out, where you get Zarya's coming out. You can see some Junkrats coming out, maybe. Just a lot of AoE kind of explosive plays. And, you know, Kings Row actually does end up being the map of choice for NJIT B team. So I'm a happy camper. It's going to be a good time. Meanwhile, though, Scarlet Knights showing up big time right there, getting a clean 2-0 over NJIT B team. And, you know, there's a little rivalry between these two teams, Rutgers and NJIT, the A team for NJIT, their starting team. They both of us have actually gone to the Nationals last year for the Collegiate League. It was a great time going out there. We went to Houston and we got to represent New Jersey on the collegiate scale. But what comes with that is a little rivalry. You know, you got to make sure that you're staying on top of the guy right next to you. And with NJIT so close to Rutgers, they got to make sure that they're performing in tip-top condition, because NJIT's B team, they're still looking like a pretty decent team. You know, these guys and gals, they are all set to get themselves up into that A team threshold, I guess you could say. But it's very difficult to break that with the lineup that the A team does bring. So gonna have to see if the B team can use this matchup as their proving ground. Any player who performs going up against the Scarlet Knights A team is going to have their name put on the map for NJIT Overwatch. If you can perform here against one of the top teams in the East Coast, then your own top team on the East Coast is going to pick you up. NJIT, a formidable team in the collegiate scene. Also, shout out to NJIT's fighting team, their FGC team, their Street Fighter team, I believe. They pop off. They're a very good team. So their Street Fighter team, if you want to get those hands, go find them. Go ask them to money match. See what happens. But we will be loading up on the Kings Row very shortly. A map, like I said, very favorable for those close-knit fights, those clips. And you do see picks like the Widowmaker and the Hanzo on this first point, because the first, you know, quarter, or I'd say a quarter to a half of this map is just so wide open for snipers to just have a field day. You know, if you're on the defense, you have multiple different angles you can hold from, different windows and different buildings to take. If you're on the offense, you have multiple different avenues to attack from and grapple with as the Widow. But it all depends if they choose to go that, and it does not look like NJIT is going to be going that route. We will see a Sombra, though. Don't see those too often nowadays. I'm excited to see. Never mind. Caster Curse strikes. They decide, I'm not allowed to have any fun. And they just decide to go with the Mei. So a very meta composition. The only difference, the only pick standing out will be the Ana coming in. Not something you typically see. It's very difficult for the Ana to break past shields as she's expected to do, or she's expected to heal around. Meanwhile, though, the Mei coming in very nicely done. Going to be separating the Rutgers lineup. Going to be dropping Wiz on that Reinhardt. In the meantime, though, Ultra going to be taking out the main tank for NJIT B team, and that's going to lead to an onslaught of kills coming in by the Rutgers squad. An opening that was found by the NJIT squad was not able to be exposed. Unfortunately for them, they have to go back to spawn and reevaluate their plan. In the meantime, though, Rutgers University trying to stabilize. They're running an interesting composition. They have a Reinhardt, Zarya, Doomfist, Genji, Ana, Brigitte. And so basically what this comp looks like it's doing is the Brig is going to be in charge of healing the tanks and keeping them alive in the brawls. And then Ana has to focus on sustaining the 2 DPS picks. But that can be kind of difficult when you have Ultra all the way in the backline. The Croesus, though, going in with that Dragon Blade, picking up 1, 2. Wiz adding on to those kills, getting 2 of his own. And that's going to be Rutgers just destroying the fight at the drop of a hat. That came out of nowhere. And the Croesus picking up a big kill right there. And now, this next fight coming up, there will be the nano boost for NJIT B team, but on the other hand, the Scarlet Knights have both tank ultimates, their Doomfist ultimate, and their Ana ultimate coming up very shortly. Wiz poised to make a play right here if he can get a shatter down. Going to have to see what he can do. And Ultra actually dropping Stay Confused, going up with his Gravity Slam. Going to be dropping down onto his opponents, taking down 1, looking to follow up and take down 2 or 3 if he has the opportunity, but not going to find them, as the rest of NJIT is able to get out. And just as I say that, though, Stoll and Stormson do get dropped in their own spawn. And so now, Rutgers University taking that fight, only using 1 ultimate, and now they have 4 still available. But NJIT, what they need to do right now is they need to build up their ultimate economy. They need to make sure that they are getting as many ultimates that they can, preferably 6, and just running head on into the Scarlet Knights, hitting Q as quick as they can, and just dropping the Rutgers lineup whenever they run into their faces. Meanwhile, a Shatter will be thrown down onto Things Go Boom, taking him out. The tank and Doomfist duo is a deadly one, to say the least. Ultra going in on the back line, but gets a little too aggressive, though. And in the meantime, Parzival, the only one left with an ultimate on the Rutgers side, is going to have to keep his entire team up through this disadvantage, but not much of a disadvantage when Wiz gets the Fire Strike to go in like that. Necrosis, though, diving in a little bit. The Mei ultimate comes out by Things Go Boom, dropping Insane. That's going to be a big pick right there for NJITB. They just need to find a way to stabilize. A Dragon Blade comes out with the Nano Boost. That's going to be 1 kill going over the Necrosis, trying to pick up a 2nd. Can't find the kills, though. Looking for a 3rd. Unfortunately, the Dragon Blade has to be put away. Not going to find a kill onto the Ana. And now, with only 50 seconds left, that's going to be NJITB with 4 ultimates available. And they just need to hit Q and go. They don't have a lot of time available. They don't have a lot of tools left. They don't have a lot to really spare. They have to just go for it, hit Q, and capitalize off the mistakes of Rutgers, and they start to do just that by dropping Insane. Very nicely done by NJITB, dropping it, but that's going to be a massive shot there by Wiz, going to be taking down 1, 2, 3 members, and with the purple coming in from Ana, taking away all their healing, it's going to be disaster for NJITB team. With only 20 seconds left on the clock, I don't see how NJITB can come back from this. They need their Doomfist to touch the point. They need their Hamster to get there as well, but they only have 10 seconds, and their spawns are coming in so spread out. Look at that. Shun goes in, gets a little too ahead of the rest of his team, and Ultra doing the same for the Scarlet Knights, but both those members will get out alive for this fight. We do have Wiz charging into a Gravitic Flux, as it's going to be Soul and Stay Confused, picking up 2 kills right there. Going to be Shun following up with a 3rd, and my god, this might be the fight win that we needed to see the NJIT High Noonlanders pick up, and just like that, NJIT still has life. They are not down. They are not out just yet. Scarlet Knights have to regroup and go for another recontest. And so right there, I think what a lot of people would expect was the Scarlet Knights walking away with a victory, just because of how they were so dominant for the early portions of that point. But when NJIT capitalized or identified the mistakes of Rutgers, they swarmed them, they attacked them with force, and they took them down. They took Insane out early on, who got a little too aggressive, got hit with an anti-grenade, and was not able to get out alive. Took that kill, and then just ran with it, and took no mercy on any members of the Scarlet Knights. It was very well done, and now they are set up to try and take the second part of the map, but it's going to be counteracted by a Shatter coming in. Very nicely done, though. The beat will be used to deal with that Shatter. Graviton Surge coming in now on the backside, going to be picking up no kills. The Stay Confused actually takes out Wiz. No value coming from that Graviton Surge. That Nano Blade going to come in, trying to deal the damage that nobody else could. And that's going to be 2 kills coming out for Necrosis, looking to pick up a third, but he does not have any fuel left in the tank. Doomfist dropping down for good measure, but the Scarlet Knights get absolutely wiped, and NJIT looking very strong here in the streets phase of Kings Row. And NJIT, like I talked about before, they're running that meta composition. They are running the Orisa Sigma, Reaper Doomfist, Lucio Baptiste. Now the Baptiste, a pick something that can be swapped out for the Moira, opting not to go with that Moira pick, maybe because you want the Immortality Lamp to deal with the Genji's ultimate. Having that Blade as a team wipe, you want to have a counter set up in motion for that, but that's not going to be a problem just yet, because right now the only one with the ultimates are Ultra and Wiz. And Stoll, who has on the backside 1, 2, 3 kills going down there, and things go boom, picking up a 4th. That's going to be the DPS of NJIT, absolutely wiping the floor with the Scarlet Knights. And my god, this is a totally different game from the first 5 minutes. This is a totally different NJIT team from the first map. These guys, they need a little bit of time to warm up. They need a little bit of a chance to, get that rust knocked off. But they were able to get themselves in the right headspace, and now they're set up to take Kings Row on a full push with only 1:45 on the clock. Necrosis swapping off the Genji, going over to that Hanzo. Hanzo's such a deadly pick to pop off with, and when Wiz is able to set up a play such as, with that Shatter, if he can get it past both those shields, he's set up to make some magic. Insane, though, will fall on the Baptiste. As he does fall, those will try and drop the Immortality field to be useful. No value going to come from it. And Crispy actually making all the plays for NJIT right here. Booping one player off, taking 1, 2 kills along. Shun picking up a kill as well. And NJIT has found that momentum, and they are rolling through Rutgers with it. All off the back of their Lucio just going into the front line and saying, screw it. May have gotten a little too aggressive right there. And now with King fully boosted out, fully charged, he is going to get control of this fight, control of the point, and there are only 45 seconds left for the rest of NJIT to push through Kings Row. And so now, Parzival on the Ana will have to work up for that nano boost, but we do have a beautiful combo coming in. The Graviton Surge from King, followed up by Necrosis' Dragon Strike, is going to be such a crucial combo to win out this fight. And when you lose Ultra so early on, you need to rely on these ultimates. You need to have picture-perfect aim with them. And Wiz is about to go down, but the Dragon Strike needs to come out, and the Graviton Surge is used, but it's counteracted by the Immortality field by Baptiste. Very nicely done until on the backside, Necrosis picks up 2, and while Doomfist comes in, things go boom. We'll see a gray screen now. Stoll trying to salvage what he can for his team, and Necrosis is going to be falling to that Gravitic Flux with only Ultra and Insane left to stand on the point. The Scarlet Knights are going to have a hard time fighting off NJIT B team. Meanwhile, NJIT B team is setting themselves up to take this point as they have very little contest coming in the way, but Wiz drops a massive Shatter onto 3 members of the team, and that's going to be the hold that Rutgers needed with their backs up against the wall, and the point so close to being captured. Rutgers University is able to take down the last members of NJIT and hold off for the end of Kings Row.
Score 0-2.
Rutgers, after that round ended, is going to call for a pause. Not too sure what's going on. We'll get an update for you guys very shortly, but in the meantime, we should just go over what we just saw, because my god, NJIT looks like a totally different team coming out here. They looked, not even from last map, just the first 3-4 minutes of this map, NJIT looking so much better. They acknowledged the mistakes that Rutgers was making and just went for the jugular with them. There was no remorse. Very well done by them. Very impressed with what I'm seeing. And NJIT looking to really make their mark against the Scarlet Knights. I said if you can be on this B team and perform well going up against the Scarlet Knights A team, well, that's going to look very good for yourself moving up throughout the ranks of NJIT Overwatch. And the NJIT Overwatch A team, talked about before, longtime rival, very difficult word right there, AEIOU. rival of Rutgers University. And with the back and forth action that Rutgers and NJIT has had over the years, it's always exciting to see them go head to head, even when it's, the A team against the B team, which, the equivalent of that would be varsity against JV kind of matchup. So even when you have that, you get to see the prowess that the NJIT B team has and why they deserve to have their names considered to be members of the A team. They're popping off, they're putting up a great performance here on Kings Row, and even though they didn't push all the way to the end, they were able to get themselves very, very close and really push Rutgers to the brink. So now with Rutgers going to be the team going on the offensive once we get back from our pause, we do have to see what they're going to choose to run. They ran a Genji Ana combo with a Brig, not something you'll see too often. Very off-meta picks, probably very comfort-based picks, but in the meantime, just waiting for this pause to finish up for Scarlet Knights. Just trying to figure out what's happening. Maybe some internet issues. Playing in dorms can be difficult. College internet. Anyone who's a college student watching this right now, I'm sure you understand what I'm talking about. It can be very difficult dealing with the university internet services. So sometimes just happens. But maybe that's not the case. You never know. And here we go. We have the R coming in from Rutgers University. Just waiting for that R to come in for NJIT. And there we go. Clock counting down, and we have round one complete as NJIT
switching sides.
Get themselves a hefty chunk of change on the distance. 67 meters finished on point 3. So that's going to require Rutgers to basically push through the entire map to secure themselves a 2-0 win. And just for those of you who may have joined us late, this is a best of 3 for the Fireside Open Overwatch tournament put on by Rutgers Esports every year at the Fireside Open annual competitive event. And NJIT B team had to get here, actually. NJIT B team had to play against the NJIT C team in a head-to-head matchup. So some brotherly love or some civil war kind of action going on there. Had to decide, who is more deserving to move on in the tournament. Survival of the fittest, for lack of a better term, it really do be like that sometimes. And Rutgers, on the other hand, I believe one of the higher seeds in the tournament, so they got a bye through the first round. Managed to get to the second round where we are right now, and from here on out, it's going to be the semifinals, which will happen next week between the winner of this match and the winner of the other match that's happening. I believe that is between the Union County College Owls going up against the Rutgers alumni team, actually, with a bunch of alumni members participating in the tournament. So should be some entertaining Overwatch coming from the Fireside Open in the future. In the meantime, though, we have to decide who's going to take Kings Row for themselves as the Scarlet Knights. Coming out here on a different kind of composition, we have the Monkey Reinhardt duo coming in here. So that provides a lot of shields, a lot of tankiness, but not very much damage coming in, as Reinhardt has a difficult time getting in there to provide damage. You need to be in melee range. And Winston has a lot of cleave, and cleave is where you're able to attack multiple enemies at once. But that cleave isn't very high damaging. And oh man, a massive shatter there by Insane. Building it up so quickly. He pays for it with his life, but well worth it in the end, as the Scarlet Knights just roll through the defense here by the NJIT B team.
Objective A captured.
And now NJIT B team, they're sticking with Crispy on the Moira and Stormson here on the Baptiste. Definitely seems like Stormson is a preferred Baptiste player, because normally you'd want to see a Lucio played in this situation. Lucio giving the tanks that are typically pretty slow, the Sigma and the Orisa, some extra speed boost, some extra mobility to make sure that they can get from point A to point B as quick as possible. It's very difficult for Orisas to move around, so you want to make sure that you are not getting too aggressive. And as I say that, Insane giving me up being too aggressive is NJIT capitalizing on that mistake beautifully, identifying it, going after it, going for the jugular. As I said, now the Monkey ultimate will come out, the Primal Rage being used, followed by a Nano Boost to Dragon Blade. All of the ultimates coming out from Rutgers University. It's going to be 1, 2, 3 kills coming out by Necrosis. Very nicely done. And that's just the ability to hit Q and win a fight when you have the Nano Boost and the Dragon Blade going hand in hand. Necrosis, very nicely done right there. Popping off on the Genji, doing a great job at just farming up his blade, getting it out as much as possible, and that's really what you need to be doing as Genji. You need to be getting that blade as often as you can, because that blade is your win condition every time. You can get some kills with your basic attack, some kills with your, dash, but the real money comes from that blade. Speaking of which, Ultra going to be falling because he is not living his best life. Things go boom, picking up a kill along with Stole, and while Necrosis tries to salvage a fight for the Scarlet Knights, it's going to be all the NJIT team coming in here and taking control of the point at the end of the Streets phase here on Kings Row. But there is still a hefty time bank they have to deal with. At least going to be seeing 5 to 4 more fights happening here. Ultra, though, the only one with the ultimate allotted in his bank. Stay confused on the NJIT side. Going to have his Sigma ultimate very shortly. That Gravitic Flux going to be very important in getting. You usually expect that to get the beat out, but with no beat available, it's just a free fight win. And now the Shatter comes in from Insane after finding a pick, not going to amount to much of anything. It's going to get blocked by the double shields that they have available. And now Gravitic Flux will be used by Stay Confused, looking to pick up a kill on the Rutgers lineup, only hitting King on the Monkey. Stole finishing off Insane, though. That's going to be a nice pick coming in by NJIT. Make that 2 as Ultra goes down. And with the Primal Rage coming in by King, it's just going to be a wasted ultimate. He's going to get melted by the NJIT lineup, and now this defense NJIT's put together looks very good, even though Stole does get picked off on the backside. Sometimes it just happens. Unfortunate to say the least, but Pepe hands is all you can do about it. And now, Parzival, Necrosis, they have that Dragon Blade Nano Boost combo. It's so deadly. It's such an easy fight win if you play it perfectly. Perfectly. But look at Crispy on that Lucio. He has that beat ready to go if they need it. Ultra will fall in that Doomfist 1v1, now creating a 6v5 disadvantage for the Scarlet Knights. And that Nano Boost with the Dragon Blade is basically useless as long as the beat is in the back pocket of Crispy. So you need to either get that beat out or you need to do something else about it. Unfortunately, the Scarlet Knights not able to do much of anything about it as the Dragon Blade comes in and no kills will go in their favor because of it, but there will be a kill trade on both ends thanks to individual plays by the players, specifically King on the Sigma, and then things go boom on the other hand. Insane coming out of the Shatter, trying to make a big play. Stole going for a massive Death Blossom, but unfortunately going to get knocked out of it. Not going to be as big as he had hoped. Wiz and Parzival pick up the kills there. Ultra joining in the fun as well. Things go boom. And Crispy, the only 2 left on the point. And finally, after a nice defensive hold there by NJITB, Scarlet Knights are going to get themselves the fight win that they needed. And here could be the last push of this matchup between the NJITB team and the Scarlet Knights. All depends on how well NJIT can play defense right now. They have to set up their plans. They have to make sure they play perfectly because the margin for error gets smaller and smaller every meter that the cart pushes. The closer it gets to that designated area at the end, the closer you get to losing, and the Rock is going to come in, hitting a Sigma barrier, not going to amount to too much there, but the Gravitic Flux will be used in response. And while Ultra picks up 1 kill, he's picking up 2. He's going to use the Gravity Slam, trying to pick up a 3rd, and he will not find that just yet, as Necrosis is going to come in and take the kills. Insane also joining in the fun on the backside, and the Scarlet Knights are in a very good position to win this map. They just need to keep these stalls from getting to the cart. Because now, looking at the changes coming in from NJIT, Shun swapping over to that Hammond, Stole swapping over to the Mace. You know that they are going for full stall right now. King and Wiz dropping very low, actually. Wiz getting near dead, and he will actually back up into that Gravitic Flux and will not die. Ultra does actually fall on the backside, though, as well as things go boom, taking out Necrosis. And NJITB setting themselves up very nicely with a stall here, holding off the offensive from the Scarlet Knights, if only for a little longer. But with 1:45 left to go, the Scarlet Knights need to make sure that they shore up their weaknesses by getting as many ultimates as they can, making sure that they don't get too aggressive, because I've seen a lot of plays coming in from Ultra getting picked off away from his team far too much before fights begin. So if they can just stabilize those plays, make sure they're not dying before a fight breaks out, the Scarlet Knights can walk away with this. as long as NJIT doesn't do things like this, where things go boom, decides to put the team on his back, picking up a kill, but Ultra going in on the backside, going to take one for himself as well. With a trade going even, it will inevitably go in the favor of NJIT until Insane decides to lay down the Shatter, and Nestor Coates is going into the backside, laying down the smackdown, using the blade, not going to pick up any kills as the beat will come in by Crispy in the nick of time, but that's going to be no defensive ultimate available for NJIT. Make that no ultimate. The Gravitic Flux comes down, waiting to use that ultimate, and will get to use the Gravity Slam, just coming down onto the rest of the team. And now with the Meteor Strike used, Parzival coming in with his Nano Boost, it looks like the Scarlet Knights are going to take a 2-0 series victory here against NJITB. GG's coming out from both sides here, making sure that sportsmanship is the name of the game. Giving the Croesus his time to shine as well. This guy, well-earned play of the game. This is the Dragon Blade that we're thinking of. Yeah, look at that. 1, 2, 3. Good measure. Putting in work on the Genji, a pick you don't see too often. 52 eliminations. Stormson racking up the total healing as well. GG's to both these teams. Very well done. But Rutgers University coming out on top at the end of it. So, thank you guys for joining us for this brief broadcast of the Scarlet Knights taking on NJIT's B team in the Fireside Open 2019 tournament, round number 2. I've been Kenny Beanie Small, your commentator for this evening. Thank you for coming out to NACL stream. Thank you for supporting NACL. And stick around, because in the future, we'll be bringing you more action in very short amount of time. So thank you yet again. We'll see you soon.